Scientists are in a never-ending journey to understand the world's complexities. The who, what, when, where, why, and how of everything, if you will. But without a game plan, how are they supposed to answer these questions? This is what we call the scientific method. Everyone can use the scientific method, not just scientists. I guarantee you have already used it in the last week without realizing it. Let's look at an everyday example. The time is 3:15 p.m. Your dad says dinner will be ready at 6 p.m. You and your friends are outside trying to figure out how many games you can play before dinner. Let's walk through the 6 steps of the scientific method. Step 1. Ask a question. In this example, you might ask, how many games can my friends and I play before dinner? Step 2. Research. Not all research has to be by reading books or making calculations. It can be simply from observing your environment. In this scenario, you might say, it's 3:15 and dinner is at 6. We have 2 hours and 45 minutes to play games. Basketball usually takes 45 minutes when we play to 20 points, leaving 2 hours left for other games. We also like to play soccer, one game lasting about 1 hour when we play to 15 points. This leaves 1 hour left. If we ride our bikes to the park, play hide and seek for 30 minutes, and bike back, we should be home in time for dinner. This leads us to step 3, forming a hypothesis. After gathering information through research, you form an educated guess, also known as a hypothesis, of what you think will happen. Based on your research, if I do this, then this will happen. In this example, you might say, if we play 1 full game of basketball, 1 full game of soccer, then ride our bikes to the park to play hide and seek for 3 rounds in 30 minutes, and bike back, then we'll be home in time for dinner. This leads us to step 4, our experiment. This is where you test your hypothesis to see if it is true or not, aka the fun part. In our example, you and your friends can get to conduct your experiment. You run through a typical game of basketball, playing until one person reaches 20 points. Then you play 1 game of soccer until the winner reaches 15 points. Then you bike to the park, play hide and seek at the park, then bike back. You write down how long it took to play each game, time to and from the park, and time playing hide and seek. This leads us to step 5, the analysis and conclusion. This step is where you look at the data you've gathered through the experiment in step 4 and see if it supports your hypothesis to be true or if it does not support your hypothesis, showing it to be false. It is best to repeat step 4, the experiment, multiple times to compare some data. So let's look at some data that you might collect. Here we see that the experiment showed that the activities that you had experimented with were 3 minutes quicker than anticipated, which is very close to your guess in your hypothesis. You notice that basketball was 5 minutes quicker and soccer was 7 minutes longer. Biking to and from the park was 5 minutes quicker, and hide and seek was exactly 30 minutes. The results of your experiment support your hypothesis, and this is where you would repeat. In step 6, you share your results. This can be done in many ways. Other scientists may publish it so that other scientists can see it. You may present data in with your classmates if this were a class project. In this scenario, this was for your own curiosity. Maybe you present these findings to your parents and use this as a reference next time you're outside playing. Let's review. Step 1, question. Step 2, research. Step 3, hypothesis. Step 4, experiment and repeat. Step 5, analysis and conclusion. And step 6, share. Now that you know the steps of the scientific method, you can create your own experiments anywhere.